Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio in partnership with E360 TV. I am Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is Talking Heads. My title is The Listening Mentor. I teach people how to listen at an elevated level. And much of what we will cover on this show is found in this book that I've written, Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening, Solutions for Deeper Connections, Better Relationships, and More Authentic Conversations. And also we have our children's series, The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor. And this is a series of 5 books that follow the journey, tongue-tied, of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor, who is the ladybug, and she travels to all parts of the world helping animals learn how to listen. Okay, today we're going to watch 2 role plays to give us some insights into our own behavior, and you may be able to identify with some of what you see, and maybe you've seen other people doing this, or maybe you're saying, wow, I realize that I do this all the time. There's no judgment. This is all about learning, and if you're interested in learning how to listen at an elevated level, please do reach out to me. You can contact me on our website, which is usaglobaltv.com or drjacalyn.com, and you can email me at drjacalyn@usaglobaltv.com. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about when we think about conversations that we have with one another, usually if we're with someone we know very well, or if we are feeling comfortable with someone, the level of the conversation can be very casual. So we're not actually minding our P's and Q's or our etiquette and manners, as we just discussed on the last show with Mr. Philip Sykes. We just feel comfortable. So we just say whatever it is we want to say. We blurt things out, which then can be very painful and hard to undo. So the whole point of this show, Talking Heads, and this episode is to teach us how to listen better, how to be more present when we're listening, how to listen without judgment, without interruption, without providing solutions, and without stage hogging. And you might think to yourself that you are already a great listener. Well, what I found is most people that I meet are not great listeners, and I don't have a judgment about it. I just have an extreme awareness about it, because this is part of what I do in my daily routine, is listen to people. And my goal is to help people find inner peace by learning how to listen at an elevated level. So again, a lot of what I'm going to speak about is in this book. And I want to point out that also in this book is a quiz to assess your listening skills. It's a pre-assessment before you read the book. And then after you read the book, there's another quiz in this book. So go ahead and pick up your copy over on Amazon. And if you're interested in a signed copy, you can contact me at my email address, which we just looked up. Okay, let's take a look at this role play. And what I want to share is that the 2 women in this role play are professional actors. So I gave them the scene and they went ahead and did as I had requested. So please do not read into it when you see a name on the screen here that this is an actual thing that took place, although these types of things do take place. And that's why I have people do these role plays, so that we can actually see what happens. Okay, so in this particular role play, what we're going to witness is that one person has decided to change her hair color. And she now runs into a friend of hers who gives her immediate input as to what she thinks. Let's take a look.
Oh my god, so remember how I've been dreaming about becoming a ginger for like 15 years? I've finally done it, you know?
Do you really think that this is the right color for you? I don't know exactly, because there's really a lot of red in there.
Yeah,
a lot of red
purpose.
pigments. Yeah, but I know.
You know, the purpose of becoming a ginger is to dye your hair red.
Yes, of course, but I think you needed a little bit more brown, and you did it in the wrong way. I don't know, but I would use a bit more brown. It's too.
I'm naturally
It's
brown.
too ginger. This is the wrong color you used. I guess this isn't the right color.
No, but I was so happy with it because I used henna for the first time and it worked so perfectly because
you see, you used it for the first time. I can tell you how you should do it. Maybe I should help you.
No thanks. Like, I was actually very happy about it until like 5 seconds ago. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, I was just typing that this is a role play with professional actors so that everyone's aware of it. So in that role play, what we witnessed was painful. It was painful for me because I've had this actually happen where you make some kind of change and then you run into someone who was a friend and you didn't ask them what they thought, but they immediately decide to tell you what you thought. So in this role play, the one actor decided to change her hair color. And of course, if you've ever changed your hair color, you know that that is a pretty dramatic thing to do. It can definitely affect your self-esteem. It can affect your mood and your emotions. So just the act of changing the hair color itself is a significant thing to do. And then to have someone give their opinion when you didn't ask for their opinion. Think about how often we all do this. We just blurt out something because we feel like we have something to say. And yet what we have to say can have a very negative impact on that person. So when we learn to listen at an elevated level, we do not provide solutions when they're not requested. She did not ask for feedback about how the other person liked her hair. She just was stating, I decided to finally do it. I decided to change the color of my hair. Now, had she asked, what do you think? You can respond in any number of ways. Think about it before you say anything. How would you feel if someone asked you about your change that you made and you were going to reply in a negative way? You wouldn't like that feedback. What is the value of the feedback? In fact, in this case, since she just changed her hair color, if you've ever done this and changed your hair color, it's not that easy to go ahead and change it to something else because you're putting chemicals in your hair and the chemicals damage your hair and it takes a little while for you to undo what you've done. And I know this because I've done it myself. That's why this role play is so meaningful for me. So giving that feedback, whether it's solicited or not, can have a major impact on that person. That person will know if they feel comfortable with the change in the hair color or if it doesn't feel comfortable, and then they'll have to figure out, can I live with it? If so, how can I do it? If not, what is it I need to do? So our role, again, is to not provide solutions that are not asked. So if we watch the role play again, which we will do, think to yourself, how would I respond? If I'm not going to give a solution, if I'm not going to give any feedback that's not solicited, what would I say when my friend is telling me that she has changed her hair color? So let's take a look at this again. It's only 1 minute 4 long. Here we go.
Oh my god, so remember how I've been dreaming about becoming a ginger for like 15 years? I've finally done it, you know?
Do you really think that this is the right color for you? I don't know exactly, because there's really a lot of red in there. A lot of red pigments. Yeah, but I know.
You know, the purpose of becoming a ginger is to dye your hair red.
Yes, of course, but I think you needed a little bit more brown, and you did it in the wrong way. I don't know, but I would use a bit more brown. It's too.
I'm naturally
It's
brown.
too ginger. This is the wrong color you used. I guess this isn't the right color.
No, but
all right, so let's stop right there. Did you notice how the one actor kept saying, it's too, it's wrong? a lot of judgment in those statements, because what is that she's giving? She's giving her opinion. Someone else might come up and say, wow, this color looks fabulous on you. It really suits you. So think about why or what is behind you giving the feedback that you're giving. What is your ultimate objective? So something that is as permanent as hair color is, and it is permanent for a certain amount of time till the chemicals balance out. I don't know the exact terminology. What good can come from you putting the other person down and giving them that judgment? That's what I'd like you to really think about. So when we think about wisdom and we think about how to listen at an elevated level, we're going to watch another role play that is in an office situation. It's in a professional situation, and it's also a demonstration of ineffective patterns of behavior. So if you're in agreement and you feel that these role plays are really helpful, please do reach out to me and let me know, because I'd love to hear from you. And there again is the contact information. So our next role play are two professionals, and they are at the office. One person is meeting with her leader, and the leader's interested in what this person actually does at the firm. Let's take a look.
Good morning, Miss.
Good morning, sir.
As the new CEO, I want to know what everybody does, right? I think that will help me navigate and to know what next steps I should take to make this company successful. What's your positioning anyway?
I'm the head of production for this company, sir.
Oh, head of production.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful, good position. So can you tell me what you do?
So as the head of production, I have other people I work with, other producers I work with, and then we make sure that every production that goes on TV goes through me. So for example, every morning,
Hello, John.
a production meeting
Hey.
where we discuss with
How are you doing?
other producers and presenters what to go on. So from Monday, we have our general meeting at 6 a.m. After general meeting, we have the general meeting at 12:30 p.m. to discuss everything.
Yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there on Friday. We'll get the first flight.
Now, moving on, we also have another meeting on Friday where we discuss everything that went through the week on Friday.
Correct.
And then at the end of the day, we make sure the company
Tell everybody I'll be there.
going the way it's supposed to go. The shows on TV, currently our flagship show is the mid-morning show where we have other big personalities.
Okay, so now let me ask you, you are the head of security, right? So how do you...
No, sir. I'm the head of production.
Head of production?
Yes.
I thought you said you're head of security.
No, sir. I'm the head of production. I make sure that all the producers are...
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so in that role play, we observed a number of things. At least I observed a number of things. Hopefully you did as well. The first is that she's meeting with the new CEO, and he asks her what it is that she does, and she says she's the head of production. And as she's elaborating on what it is she does there, he gets a phone call, which he proceeds to take. And he's on the phone at the same time motioning for her to continue telling him what it is that she does. Then he gets off the phone and he says, oh, you're the head of security. And she says, no, sir, I'm the head of production. So let's unpeel this role play, because these types of things happen all the time. You're already committed to doing something. He's committed to speaking with his employee to learn more about what it is that she does. And then a phone call comes in, which is an interruption, and he decides to take the phone call. So did he have to take the phone call? I don't know. If he took the phone call because it was an emergency, what could he have done? He could have apologized and stepped out of the room. He could have looked to see who was calling and decided that he wasn't going to take the call. He could have ignored the call altogether. But if we think about listening at an elevated level, and the employee is sitting there and he's not listening to her, but yet motioning for her to keep talking, we know that you can't listen at an elevated level to this person and have a conversation with that person. So I want to play the role play again, and I want you to think to yourself, what could have happened differently in this scenario? Should the employee have said something, or could he, the CEO, could he have handled the call differently? Let's take a look.
Good morning, Miss.
Good morning, sir.
As the new CEO, I want to know what everybody does, right? I think that would help me navigate and to know what next steps I should take to make this company successful. What's your positioning anyway?
I'm the head of production for this company.
Oh, head of production.
Yes.
Wonderful, good position. So can you tell me what you do?
So as the head of production, I have other people I work with, other producers I work with, and then we make sure that every production that goes on TV goes through me. So for example, every morning,
Hello, John.
A production
John,
meeting
hey.
where we discuss with
How are you doing?
other producers and presenters
Yes,
what
yes,
to go
yes,
on.
yes,
So
yes.
from Monday, we have our general
Yeah,
meeting at
Yeah.
6 a.m.
Yeah.
After general meeting, we have
Yeah,
the general
yeah,
meeting
yeah.
at 12:30 p.m.
Yeah,
to discuss
yeah, yeah.
everything.
Yeah, we'll
that
be there.
we have
We'll be there on
planned
Friday.
to
We'll
do
get
for
the
the
first
week.
flight.
Now,
We'll
moving
be
on,
there.
we also have another meeting on Friday where we discuss
Just one second, John.
everything that went through the week on Friday,
Correct.
and then
Yeah,
at the end of
John.
the day, we
John,
make sure that
yes.
the company
Yes, yes. Tell everybody I'll be there.
going
All right.
the way it's supposed to go.
All right.
The shows
Thank
on
you.
TV, currently our flagship show is the mid-morning show where we have other big personalities.
Okay, so now let me ask you. You are the head of security, right? So how do you
No, sir. I'm the head of production.
head of production?
Yes.
I thought you said you're head of security.
No, sir. I'm the head of production. I make sure that all the producers are
All right.
working.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm cringing watching it again. And again, these are role plays with people who have been directed as to how to act, but it happens all the time. So it doesn't have to be in a professional setting, but let's talk about what we saw and then think about how the same behavior takes place, maybe in your own home or in the home of someone you know and love, or in your office or someplace that you frequent. So she was sharing that she's the head of production. He gets a phone call. He looks at his phone. He doesn't say, "Excuse me, I have to take this. It's my boss," or any information whatsoever. He just takes the call and then motions for her to continue talking. Now, we know it is impossible, although you may think to yourself that you can do this. You could be listening to someone on the phone and also having a conversation. It is not possible. If you are listening at an elevated level, you will know you have to be totally present to be able to hear what someone has to say at a higher level. That means without interruption, without judgment, without providing a solution, and without stealing the stage. So this CEO brings in his associate so she can share what it is she does. She's the head of production, and we can hear her talking about what it is that she does in production. You might have found yourself trying to hear what he was saying on the phone, or maybe you were listening to what she was saying, but it's not possible that you could listen to both and accurately be able to describe what it is that you heard listening at an elevated level. We know that it's not possible. So he takes the call. She continues talking. She could have stopped speaking, but he motioned for her. And obviously, he's her superior, so she might have felt intimidated. Maybe she didn't know about elevated listening. If it had been me, and again, this was a role play, I would have stopped speaking because I want to be heard. And I know that you can't hear me if you're on the phone. So think about your own personal life, or maybe it's your professional life. And again, this is not about judgment. This is about helping people have better relationships. Have you been in a conversation with someone and they're doing something else? Are you watching me right now and doing something else? If you are, you can't be at an elevated level taking away all of the gems that I'm providing today. How do I know? Because I'm the listening mentor and this is my area of expertise. So when you are with somebody and you are scrolling through your phone, you are not able to listen to them at an elevated level. Are you able to get bits and pieces of what it is that they're saying? Yes, you probably are. But are you showing them the respect? Are you showing them the empathy and the compassion by being fully present? You're not. Are you watching television and you're watching something and you're talking and listening to something? You cannot be doing two things at the time effectively and giving the other person the respect. So when you think about arguments maybe that you have or disagreements that you've had with people, were you both fully present? Now, you could be in the same room looking at each other and it seems as though you're fully present, but in your mind, you're thinking something else. When will she shut up? When will he stop talking? When can I get out of here? When is this over? You're not fully present. And again, there's no judgment. Why are we doing this show? Why do we have the Listening Mentor show on Friday? Why am I doing Talking Heads about listening? Because there's so much strife in the world. There's so many broken relationships. There's so much unhappiness because people are not listening to one another. And we know what's going on in the world. We know about the atrocities. We know about the horrors. We know about politics and what goes on there. One politician not listening to the other. It escalates, and it starts at home. It starts in our own homes with our own families. And so when we learn how to listen truly and be present, then things can start to change. And it's not easy to do. As you know, we have to set boundaries because we can't be listening at an elevated level all of the time. So if we go back to these two role plays that we saw today, they had different topics, obviously, but still the same foundation. And the foundation is that one person is looking for another person to be present so they can share what it is that they want to share. They don't actually want you to provide a solution unless they ask for it. How many times does someone share something with you and you're thinking to yourself, oh, you know what? I know I can fix that. I know something. You know what? I have an answer for you. I have a solution for you. I know what we can do to fix your hair. I know a great hairdresser. I'm going to give you her number. In fact, I'm going to call her myself and let her know that you're going to be calling so that you can undo what you did. No, she didn't ask for that. She didn't ask for anything except to have you listen so she could share what was going on with her. In the second role play, in the office scenario, the CEO, who should have, when I say should, have training on how to be an effective leader. Listening is a key aspect of that. He wouldn't have taken that phone call unless it was an emergency and then excused himself or said, I'm really sorry, given some kind of understanding to the other person, because the other person's time is valuable too. Now, for the person who's calling on the phone, their time is also valuable. Did that person who was calling on the phone ask, is this a good time for me to have the conversation with you? Apparently not, because from the behavior of the CEO, he just launched into the conversation. He didn't say, well, I'm busy right now. I'm tied up doing a conversation with one of my associates. He just took the call and they proceeded to have the conversation while the associate continued talking about what it was that she was doing. So when we set boundaries and ask for permission, that would have been several opportunities there for the CEO to set a boundary and not take the phone call, for the CEO to take the phone call and explain to his associate that this was an important call that was time sensitive, because we're all important. The time that he was spending with her, that was important to her, and it should be important to him. So let's look at how we're showing up and what our own behavior is and how we can make these tweaks, how we can make these changes so that we're a more effective listener. We're listening at an elevated level with the ultimate goal for us to have inner peace and for every one of us to share that respect, compassion, and empathy with someone else by learning how to listen at an elevated level. That is our episode for today. And again, I would love for you to pick up a copy of this book so that you can start to make changes in your life and be listening at an elevated level for deeper connections, better relationships, and more authentic conversations. And also our children's book series, where all of the animal characters on our book covers are elevated listeners who have taken our course, The Power of Listening. And you can find all this information over on our website, usaglobaltv.com, as well as drjacalyn.com. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here today. If you are going to be in the Philadelphia area, I will be speaking at a conference. Actually, I am chairing a panel, and I'll be asking questions and interviewing panelists from around the world at the World Summit on Women and Girls. It's in Philadelphia at City Hall, and it is on the 20th and the 21st, 22nd of October. So please do join us there. Thank you again. We're going to close out now, and I look forward to seeing you again for our next episode. Bye for now.